Good morning, everyone. Scott Zambelli here with Odd Musings. And today I'm flying solo as Brett is traveling the country today, heading out to Salt Lake City for Fan X. It's a great, it's either Fan Expo or Fan X. I think it's Fan X. Awesome Comic-Con out there that's going to be this upcoming weekend. So if you're going to be in the Salt Lake City area heading to that show, look for Brett Pinson. He'll be representing Bardstone Publishing out there, along with carrying his own artwork and books that he self-publishes as well. So let's get down to business here. We're in episode 322, and today I'm going to pull up a list of what's coming out this fall and winter for movies, so we can see what to expect, and we'll cover that. We'll do a rundown. Don't know if we'll do a full hour today, but we'll see where it goes. But first, our sponsors. And first, we have Loringer Family Chiropractic Center, located in Belleville and Dexter, Michigan. Loringer's, they're dedicated to staying on top of the latest chiropractic tools and treatments. It's our goal to create a friendly and professional atmosphere that you can rely on for all your chiropractic needs. Brett has been a long time patient of Loringer Family Chiropractic, and they do an amazing job on him. And then, as I've mentioned in the past, we also use them for some care that my daughter needed, and they're top notch. So if you need chiropractic care, give them a call. Their Belleville office is 734-697-4244. Or their Dexter office is 734-426-3994. And if you're not in those areas, but you're looking for a chiropractor, feel free to give them a call, and they would be more than happy to refer you to somebody that they do know. Then also, in addition to Loringer's, let me share the screen here. We have Team Titans Real Estate. Why? Because you matter. That's right. Even though we utilize the latest in tools and technology to maximize your home buying and selling experience, we never forget at the end of the day, it's still a people business, which is why Jill and I put our relationships with our clients first. We're having an amazing year here industry-wide. It's actually been a slower year for realtors, but we're having a record year. Why? Because we do put those relationships first, and actually, all of our deals this year has either been past clients returning to us or referrals from past clients, family, and friends. So we really value the trust that you guys put in us, and our number one goal is to keep those relationships strong and work for your best interest. So give us a call, 586-232-5144. The number is back there on the banner. Might be hard to see in there, but yeah, Jill and I are here for you. Give us a call. All right. So as I mentioned, we're going to cover some of we're having connectivity issues. Let me pull up my phone here. I'll have to connect my Wi-Fi for my phone. I don't know why we have issues like this so often. We should have plenty of bandwidth here. All right. I'm going to switch it over. Oh, it's giving me issues. All right. Hopefully it'll be fine with our connections here. Got to do some IT on the fly. Del Guzman, good morning. Welcome aboard here as I fly solo with Brett traveling the country today. All right. So first of all, this weekend I was able. Let me pull it up. I'm gonna give a review here. Share. Just give me a moment. When you're doing everything by yourself, it takes a little longer. All right. So over this past weekend, we were able to go see My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3. And so went with some friends. Now, for full disclosure, I don't think I ever saw. I saw parts of, but I've never seen in their entirety the first or second one. So it was no. I didn't care if I saw this or not. So I was indifferent. However, the people I went with were fans of the first two, and I've spoken to some other people since who also were fans of the first two. My review, it fell short. It's supposed to be a comedy, but the comedy itself wasn't. There were some funny characters, some side characters that were funny, but for the most part, the humor felt forced, and there wasn't much of it. The funniest parts, I believe, were in the trailer, and that was about it. As far as a movie goes, it was a good family movie. The family, it's there will be some spoilers here. The family's the head of the family, the father, passed away, and so the children who are our age are going back to Greece to kind of honor him and try to fulfill a promise they made to their dad. And so, in that regard, it's a good movie as far as what the family goes through to get there, and but it's a more of a serious movie actually than a comedy. I think that's where it kind of falls short, was the comedy side of it. Um, but the movie as a whole, it was okay. I didn't mind it. The others that were with me, they all said the first and second one were far funnier and far better. They weren't thrilled with this one as well. Some other people I talked to who also really liked the first and second one also said they felt this one fell short of the other two. So, if you're a big fan of the first two, you might like this one, but don't expect it to be. It's not hilarious. There's funny moments. There's some funny lines, but nothing. This is kind of a one and done. It's not worth seeing a second time, I don't think. So that's My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3. It's a mouthful to say all that. All right. Let's move on. Let's pull up a list of movies for this fall. Phone is ringing. Put that on silent. Movies. Fall, winter. All right. Let's get an upcoming movie list going. All right, here we go. We'll do Cinema Blend. All right, here we go. Upcoming movies. New movie release dates in 2023. This came out just 2 days ago, so this should have the updated. A lot of movies got pushed around. Some got pushed back into next year. Some got moved to later in this year. But the studios have been playing a lot of games with release dates. Some of that, just due to things that are going on. Curious if things will move even more now because of the actor strike. Are studios going to try to push things into next year just to fill some space? So we shall see. So here's the list. So this all starts as of September 1st. So some of these already came out. Equalizer 3, I saw, really liked it. Let's move down the list. Today's the 20th. Haunting in Venice just came out. I want to see that one, so I'm looking forward to that. Okay, the 22nd. So this weekend, Expendables 4 comes out with Stallone and Jason Statham and all of them. the Expendables. It's over the top 80s action. And if you like the other ones, I'm sure you're going to like this. I will probably see it. If it depends on my schedule. I can take it or leave it. So if I feel like going to the movies and I have time, I'll probably see this one. I also want to see Haunting in Venice, which just came out. So I think I want to see Haunting in Venice more. So Expendables is if I have time over the next 2 weeks. Spy Kids, that's being released on Netflix. So if you have some Spy Kids fans in the house, Netflix will be coming out with that pretty soon, just in a couple days. Paw Patrol, the mighty movie that's coming out. Let's see. The Creator, September 29th. I'm really looking forward to The Creator. Um, if you've seen Star Wars Rogue One, that's the movie that takes place just before A New Hope, aka the original 1977 Star Wars. Rogue One, very well done. Same creator, same creator of Rogue One is doing The Creator. That looks really well done based on the trailers. Really looking forward to seeing that. Let's see, Dumb Money. Let's see, Seth Rogen, Paul Dano is in that. Probably won't see that. Saw X. The Saw franchise has quite the following, so I'm sure a lot of people are looking forward to that. As we approach October, the horror genre starts to come out. Like October 6th, The Exorcist Believer. That's a sequel to the original Exorcist movie. The mother in the Exorcist movie is coming back in this one. Let's see. Freelance with John Cena and Alison Brie. I don't know anything about that one. Trying to find some other ones. Wish there were photos with this though. I'll have to go back and find some photos. Five Nights at Freddy's comes out October 27th. That one, if you, especially part of the Comic-Con circuit, Five Nights at Freddy was an interesting game that came out, and it just came out of nowhere. And we were doing comic book conventions. Well, we still do them, but at the time it came out, we were doing a bunch of shows, and like out of nowhere, all of these kids were asking if we had artwork for Five Nights at Freddy's. And we're like, what is that? None of us knew what it was. Terry Huddleston, he has kids, so he was able to jump on the bandwagon early. He was the first right away. He knew this was going to be big because of how much his kids were like hooked in on this. So they're like, you gotta do artwork for this. So he was on it, and we're like, what is this? And people were going nuts. They could not get enough, and it lasted a solid 8 to 10 months, I want to say, where every show we went to, if you had Five Nights at Freddy artwork, you were going to sell out of it. And the kids just loved it. It was the perfect balance of scary, but not too intense. So these like 10, 12-year olds were just loving it. It had these jump scares in the game that just they were freaking out over. So, anyways, they finally have made it into a movie. Question is, did they wait too long? Will that crowd that was so hungry for Five Nights at Freddy stuff, will they want to see this, or will they feel like they've moved on and they're too old for this now? So that'll be interesting to see. It's a grindhouse film, and from the trailer, it looks interesting. I think I may be interested in checking that one out. I don't think they toned it down for kids. It's PG-13, but it looks like they have that same intensity of the game, and some jump scares will be in there to really make you jump. So that'll be an interesting one, October 27th, which is interesting. That's right before Halloween. I would think they would do 1 or maybe even 2 weeks before, but they're doing the weekend just before, which maybe, we'll see if that's a good plan or not. A lot of these I don't know what they are. Let's see. And some of these are for Netflix, like this Naiad. Never heard of it, but Jodie Foster and Annette Bening are in it. Let's see. We're into November here. The Marvels, November 10 comes out. I have to say, for me, this is the first Marvel movie I think I'm skipping. It just doesn't interest me anymore. Um, I've not been happy with the direction they've been going with things with the TV series. I will check out Loki season 2. I'm looking forward to that, which is coming out, I think, end of September, I think. Um, so I am looking forward to Loki season 2. Now, if that really does amazing and they create a definitive tie-in into the Marvel movies that really intrigues me, then maybe I'll change my mind and go see the Marvels. But I'm not planning on seeing it otherwise. Let's see, Journey to Bethlehem. I hadn't heard of that. Antonio Banderas is in it, so that might be one to check out. Let's see, Hunger Games: The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. This one's interesting. I was interested in this one. This is a sequel to the Hunger Games franchise, showing how the games began, and we see a young Snow, President Snow in the franchise we know of. This shows him younger when he competed it in the games. The negative is Rachel Zegler's in it, and she's been causing quite the controversy with her Snow White that's coming out. And so, personally, I'm not really that interested in seeing it now because I don't like her. Let's see. Next Goal Wins. I think that's a soccer movie, if I remember correctly. Another Trolls movie's coming out in November 17th. Adam Sandler has one coming out on Netflix, Leo. I don't know what that's about, but Adam Sandler's really been doing well with his movies, so I'd be curious to see what that is. Let's see, Maestro Napoleon. I am looking forward to Napoleon. That's November 22nd with Joaquin Phoenix and Vanessa Kirby's in that. The trailer looks phenomenal. Little historical fact there regarding Napoleon. A lot of people think he's short, and it's actually not true. So here's why people think he's short. In the historical record, he's listed at 5'2", but what's not known is the French measurement of inches isn't exactly the same as our measuring of inches. So when you convert it to match our method, he was actually about 5'6" in actual height. Now that sounds short in today's standards. However, back then, 5'6" was actually considered average. So Napoleon was actually average height. He was not a short person at all. So because of the difference in measuring systems between the French and modern inches, people think he was short, but he wasn't. He was average height. Little history lesson there. Wish. Don't know what this one is. Alan Tudyk is in it. I like Alan. December. Here we go. I'm looking forward to this Willy Wonka origin story, so to speak. That one is looking good. Let's see here. We'll see when that comes out. Wonka, December 15th, with Timothée Chalamet and Olivia Colman. Chalamet definitely to me, it looks like they're doing the prequel to the Gene Wilder Wonka. It's what it looks like to me. Be interesting to see how they do Oompa Loompas. I can't remember if they showed them in the trailer or not. I'd have to rewatch the trailer. But December 15th, I definitely want to see that one. Aquaman comes out December 20th. I thought they were pushing that back. I also thought I had read, we had all the Amber Heard controversy with Aquaman. I thought I had read they recast her and cut her out and refilmed the scenes, but I was just reading that Amber Heard is still in it but they did cut a bunch of her scenes and make her role a lesser role. So she's going to be in that. Honestly, this movie's going to bomb. It's going to bomb horrifically. Blue Beetle just came out. That did even worse than Shazam 2. Marvel or DC keeps setting new record lows with each movie they release. And I mean, there's already heavy competition for our attention when it comes to entertainment. We've got TikTok, Facebook, podcasts, we got TV, a million streaming services, and we got movie theaters. All these things are competing for our attention. And DC announced the death of the DC universe, and James Gunn is coming in to start everything new, to have his vision of the DC universe. There's no reason to invest time and money into a dead universe. And I think this movie's going to, you have the Amber Heard baggage attached to this. You have the baggage of the DC universe being destroyed and replaced. It just, why pour the time and money into watching this? Honestly, the trailer itself, I don't even think looks that good. So I'm going to pass on this. We'll see how it does, but Blue Beetle did really bad. So I'll be curious to see, will this be even worse turnout for this one versus the Blue Beetle? We'll have to wait and see. Rebel Moon is another one. This is coming out on Netflix. This is it Abrams? J.J. Abrams? I forget who. It's J.J. Abrams, or I think it's J.J. Abrams. I could be wrong, so don't quote me. Is doing Rebel Moon, and it could be James Gunn too. It originally was meant to be a Star Wars movie, and the script was rejected or whatever, or turned down. And so they decided to make the movie anyways, obviously change it up so it's no longer Star Wars, but they kept the story. So this will be interesting to see. It's on Netflix, so you'll have to see it then. And then Color Purple is coming out December 25th. So I don't know if this is this a remake? I'm guessing it's a remake. Let's see. These are a bunch of movies that are supposed to come out still, but they were supposed to come out in 2023, but there's no official date attached to these. So let's see if any of these pop out. Let's see. Legally Blonde 3. Didn't know they were doing a third one of that. Here with Tom Hanks and Robin Wright. Most of these I don't think I've heard of. Spaceman on Netflix with Adam Sandler. This is where I think a lot of these are, they could be being, a lot of the studios have been losing money. So some of these may be on the chopping block, or it could be that they're withholding a release date because they're trying to feel out how long the strike is going to go for and where do they need stuff. They got Star Wars Rogue Squadron on here. That was the Patty Jenkins Star Wars movie that was going to come out. Looked intriguing just from their release when they did their announcement of it. Patty Jenkins, I think, would have done a good job. But I feel like after the Wonder Woman 1984 movie bombed, Star Wars really got a little scared about using Patty Jenkins, I think, because this suddenly went into a limbo stage where you'd heard nothing about it. So I personally think this is going to be done away with. Rogue Squadron, though, in and of itself, it's a series of books that they did for the Star Wars Expanded Universe, now known as Legends. It was a very popular book series. The fans loved the storyline. And if they follow the way they did the books, they followed Rogue Squadron, but then they started following another squadron called Wraith Squadron. Those books were excellent and would actually make a very intriguing series for Disney Plus, because having a squadron, you would have time to build up the camaraderie between all the pilots. You could show what life is like behind the scenes as a pilot. And then you could have all these different missions coming out every week. The timing would be perfect too with what's happening right now in Ahsoka. Thrawn is on his way back, and they're going to have a Thrawn movie. And the Rogue Squadron books were the Republic fighting these skirmishes against the Empire, who was trying to come back into power. So the timing would actually be perfect for have the Thrawn movie, and then depending how they end the Thrawn movie, as long as they don't bring it to conclusion, you could have the Rogue Squadron series carry the storyline forward to show kind of in the trenches, so to speak, the fight against the Empire, and have a lot of really great space battles going on. Let's see. What is it? Oh, this is just covering movies that already came out. So it's covering the earlier in the year movies. So that gives us a good little rundown of what's to expect moving forward. So I'm not going to drag out today's episode, just keeping it short and sweet. But looking forward to seeing some of these movies. But honestly, there's not a lot out there. This whole year was kind of light. A lot of disappointments. A lot of people are claiming, like with how poor DC's doing, Marvel's doing, that it's superhero fatigue. It's not superhero fatigue. It's bad story fatigue. We have enough entertainment out there now that we can ignore movies that are just poorly done. Marvel lost its way after Endgame. Kevin Feige announced they're no longer gonna interconnect the movies the way they did for the first three phases. That was a huge mistake. Loki season 1 was a perfect launching point for setting up the multiverse. And then they just kind of lost their way. They kept going back to the multiverse through the Spider-Man movies, Doctor Strange, through Ant-Man. Did Ant-Man do multiverse? Yeah, they touched on it. But all of these things, they would have different reasons, everything was different, instead of being this cohesive storyline. And it just didn't fit well. So hopefully Loki season 2 puts things back on track and Marvel starts creating a cohesive storyline again. There's so many great things they can do, but they've been bombing it, and they're more focused on their own little agenda thing. Same with DC. They keep releasing these movies even though they've announced this is dead. So, what's the point? I'm looking forward to whenever the next season of The Boys comes out. That I'm looking forward to. And like I said, hopefully Marvel finds its way and gets back on track, because the first three phases of Marvel just were epic in how they dealt with this huge story that covered like 22 movies, 10 years. It was just so well done. The payoff was just insane. Ideally, what they should have done is they just should have stopped altogether. These movies they came out with for phase 4 and 5, they should have just shelved. They shouldn't have done anything. Give a nice 5-year break to give us time to digest what we saw. We could go back and relive it. You could have these Disney Plus story, streaming series that would work to kind of fill a little bit of the gap. And then with Captain America: Brave New World, that could be the launching pad for what's next. But I think had they took a 5-year break on the movies to really develop another 3-phase arc and really think it through, that would have been very beneficial to them, I think. But they didn't do that. They don't hire me though for my advice, so so what do I know, right? But anyways, that's it for today. I'll do a half show. Looking forward to seeing some of these movies coming out. A lot of them not so much. but we'll see where it goes. Loving the Ahsoka series. Dave Filoni just really is on top of things for what the fans want, what they need. He's truly is the Padawan. Star Wars is all about masters and Padawans, master and apprentice. And George Lucas is the master, and Filoni is his apprentice. He understands Star Wars inside and out, and really is carrying the torch forward. I really hope to see, Kathleen Kennedy she needs to go and get out of the way and let Filoni manage Star Wars moving forward. At the very least, give him control of the creative, and if nothing else, have Kathleen Kennedy only handle the business side, but let Filoni be the creative director for the Star Wars franchise moving forward, because he's hitting home runs with everything he does. All right, folks, that's it on my end. And Brett will be back next week. We'll recap the Fan X show, his trip to Salt Lake City, and then we'll cover some Ahsoka and some other things as well. Take care, guys.